Yo, guys, what's going on? Lucky G7 is back again to give you guys a what do I call this? A super long, uh, damn. What's the word I want to use here? Long awaited One Piece live stream discussion. I don't know why I was stumbling on that. I mean, it's been a few months. Let me be real. It's been a few months that I've actually last done a live stream discussion. And the reason for this, I'm gonna say this right now. Go check out Twitter. Because if y'all been keeping up with me on Twitter, I'm still active. It's not like I just wiped off the face of the earth. Basically, you know, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was around the corner. Number one. So a lot of my attention went there. And number two, in the middle of all that, I started getting sick. And then the season change starts happening, which starts messing with my allergies like crazy. Like, I don't know how it is with a lot of you guys, but for me personally, when the season starts changing between winter and spring, like it's a nightmare to deal with. Oh my god. Like, I go through that shit at least every year. I'm like, bro, this is too much. Like, from spring to summer, summer to fall, fall to winter, nothing happens to me. It's just from winter to spring. It's just that time, like, start bugging out for some reason. But that being said, I am actually, in a weird way, I'm super grateful that Oda did take that 1 month hiatus from doing the manga, because at least for me, a it's less chapters I got to work with. That's one, and two, the man needs some rest. Okay, like the Shonen Jump schedule. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's gotten better now compared to how it was like 10, 15 years ago. It's gotten much better, but still, Oda's a madman. I'm gonna say that right now. Oda's a madman when it comes to, like, his passion, his dedication. Okay, man loses hours and hours of sleep on end for his story. And again, I admire an author for doing that. That dedication, that pride. To be fair, as an inspiring author like myself, I get that too. But with that being said, I am feeling a little bit better. Here and there, like, sure, I might be taking like pauses every now and then, but you know, it's good to be back. It's honestly really, really good to be back. Talking about, One Piece. Um, Surprisingly, still on Egghead Island, because I remember saying this like a while back. I think it was like right when the flashback ended. Like leading up back to where we were at on Egghead. I thought once we cut back to the Straw Hats, it was gonna be somewhat of a getaway. Like, all right, we are able to escape off the island. There was Kizaru. They're gonna fight him off, and then we'd somehow be able to escape and head over to Elbath. And then Saint Jaygarcia shows up. I'm like, psh, well, forget what my prediction on this. This man popped up and just said like, nope, you ain't leaving anytime soon. And here's the thing, we're still there, okay? And a lot of stuff has happened since then, okay? I mean, the last chapter I did a live stream discussion on, I kid you not, okay? It was 11:06. If I can get this thing to load. So yeah, the last chapter I saw, like, freaking Vegapunk got impaled by Saturn, and then you got Bonnie witnessing Nika, you know, Luffy in his like Gear 5 form, and with all that, again, the very last panel shot was Brogy and freaking Dorry from A Little Garden. These two giants showing back up, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember my exact initial discussion per se from 11:06, but thinking about this more, and especially with like these group of chapters in, like this is so, and I mean so, super nostalgic. Not even lying. This is so super. nostalgic for me because as someone who's been a One Piece fan since like 2004, 2005, and again, via 4 Kids dub, yes, but East Blue Saga, Alabasta Saga, like that was like the saga for me. And I ignore that in the background. That's just my time that I just listen to go off every hour. During the sun, when it's nighttime, that thing just doesn't even ring. But let me just say this: seeing them, like, it just kind of reassured me of like we weren't done with these characters. And I mean, to be fair, we saw them like here and there throughout the time skip, especially when they were with Shanks. I was like, oh, these guys are about to pull up soon. And honestly, thinking about this more and more, I should have put 2 and 2 together. When Usopp and Luffy were talking about Elbaf and they were like super excited to go there, I honestly should have put 2 and 2 together. Yo, these cats are gonna show up. These cats are gonna show up, and they're gonna have this reunion with the Straw Hats, and they're gonna go to Elbaf. And in a sense, that's what we get here. Within like these 12 chapters, I said 12 chapters. Within these 6 chapters that we've gotten, counting the chapter that just came out Sunday officially. I'm talking about official chapters. I know. People want to say, well, 11-13 comes out, pretty soon. Yes, unofficially. I'm aware of that. And I do check out the unofficial chapters too. I like to wait for the official translations because I know a lot of people are kind of like iffy on the Viz translations, but for me, I always like to compare back and forth. Like, okay, so how's the translations? How's the phrasing of things? What's kind of confusing in the scans versus what's in the official? I like doing that kind of stuff. And I know when I was coming back to One Piece and I was doing these discussions, I was doing it like back to back. Like there would be an initial live stream discussion just on the scans, and then we would come back, you know, on the day the chapters officially came out, and it would kind of be more of like a further analysis of the chapter. That would essentially be what was going down with the chapters at the time, and I have kind of taken. I won't say I've taken a back on it per se, but I do feel like, and who knows, if you guys still want me to do that, to a point where like we cover the chapters when they come out unofficially, and then when the officially comes out, it's more of like an analysis. If y'all still want me to do that, hey, I'm all up for it. That'd be fun. Just know that for me personally, that probably won't happen again until summer. So like after like the next like 4 or 5 weeks, I could probably get back to that routine. Like say end of May, if y'all want me to do this the system again where we tackle the chapters unofficially the day they drop, and then when they official, translations come out, we do an analysis video then. Hey, I'm up for it. But still, that being said, 1107, I've been looking for you, which, it really does say a lot with what goes down. So in 1107, first of all, you've got the reunion with Dorry and Brogy, like just reuniting with the Straw Hats. Specifically, reuniting with like freaking Usopp. Like Usopp looks over, he's like, "Yo, wait, what the hell? Like these fools are here!" Like, and he's like crying and shit too, and thinking about Little Garden, which I know, yeah. If you really want to talk the dub for 4K, they skipped over that arc completely. But when you see this, again, in a way, I did kind of feel the Usopp vibes with this particular chapter because, like, I remember this part. Little Garden to me was like super underrated. Out of all the arcs people like to talk about, I feel Little Garden is super underrated. And thinking about where we are now, That's a pretty big arc now. That's a super, super duper big arc, in my opinion. Because the events in Little Garden now do set up this for Egghead. And it's incredible actually when you think about that. But like you see, you got Usopp's reaction. You got Nami here too. He's like, "Oh hey, Oima and Kashi are here too." Then you got Edison there in the corner. But yeah, Usopp mainly is just like, "Wow, I cannot believe how long it's been." And yeah, to be fair, I can kind of understand Usopp's reaction. He's like, "I didn't think we'd be able to see them again." Like go to Elbaf and be like, "Man, I don't know if we're gonna see them again." But being able to see them, pretty great, pretty great. But what we get after this, essentially, we get Lilith's reaction to what's going down to the ship. And freaking Brooke over here, he's like, "We'll be passing through in a moment," and she's like, "Hey, stop that! Like, if we shoot off the island, we'll hit the barrier and explode." Which, honestly speaking, not that great of an idea if you look at it. But that's when Jinbei kind of takes off and says, "Hey, let me try to get Zoro because this is not exactly the time to be fighting." And we have Zoro still confronting with Lucci, and that does come to a conclusion if we look at things. Like, that fight still goes on in 1107, and that fight doesn't really conclude until chapter. Oh my god, what chapter was it? I want to say 1110. So yeah, this fight goes on at least for like another like yeah, at least another 3 chapters before it actually came to a conclusion. And the way this fight ends off too, like you think by the end of chapter 1110 that okay, it's like a standstill. And then you end up finding out that no, Lucci he still kind of stands firm. And not only just that, we need to talk about Bonnie. Like seeing Luffy in his Gear 5 form and crying, and Luffy just asking like, "Hey, why are you crying so much?" And yo, the way this girl breaks down, she's like, "I've spent my whole life just wondering about, Nico, wondering about the Sun God, and now I see it's you." Like, it's such a big, shocking moment for her. And I mean, who can blame her? Who can honestly blame the Bonnie for feeling that way? It is such a pivotal moment when you look at it. But you see everything going down. Saying Jaygarcia doesn't give two shits. And I love how Bonnie's super supportive of Luffy. She's like, "Hey, help us get off this island and pound him for what he did to Vegapunk." And you see Luffy doing what he's doing. And I know, I'm kind of speeding through the chapter in a sense, but let's be fair. Your boy's got work in the morning. So I'm kind of doing what I can to like kind of give my like quick cliff notes version of of what my thoughts are on the chapter, and then on like these chapters for the most part, and still like, be able to talk about it with you guys. Like, sure, would I have loved to have talked about these chapters individually as they were coming out? Sure, of course. You know me, I would totally have loved to have tackled these chapters individually. And just analyze it and like really like break it all down. But again, when you got 6 chapters to work with, and I mean, here's the thing: uh, for all the One Piece fans, y'all are lucky. I'm only dealing with 6 chapters. Eden Zero, guys, that's 12. Like counting the chapter that just came out, that's 12 chapters I got to work with. That's the one I'm saving for Saturday because I had to think about that earlier today. I'm like thinking, hold on, I've got time today. I could either tackle the One Piece live stream discussion now, or I do a double and do the One Piece live stream discussion and the Eden Zero live stream discussion in the same day. Like pretty much tackle the One Piece one first and then tackle the Eden Zero one later. And then I was just like, no. Let me use the opportunity that I can right now. Do One Piece today, save Eden Zero for Saturday. To me, that just made the most sense. So, for anyone curious about Eden Zero, don't worry. That live stream discussion will be coming. That'll be saved for Saturday. And it's only just going to be that one live stream discussion because there's still a couple other series I want to tackle too. I mean, Chainsaw Man, thank God there's not that many chapters actually that I got to catch up on for that. That one I think is actually less than this. Now that I think about it. Right? No. Well, it's a little bit more. I think it's 8 chapters. But the thing about Chainsaw Man is that when you look at what happens in events in that series, it just flies. You're like thinking, whoa. But in this case, for One Piece, let me just say this. Before I go completely off rails here. So, right now, Frankie and Atlas rush over to Bonnie to save her. Okay? That's what they're doing. They're rushing over there. They're saving her. Sanji comes in to protect Bonnie from Kizaru, number one, because the order is, and this is a decision made in 1108, the Marine makes the decision to kill Bonnie for that specific reason. But, to say the very least, you've got the battle between Luffy and Saturn still like continuing, which is great. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually a really, really good fight. We've got something that's about to ensue between Luffy and Sanji versus Kizaru. Luffy laughing his ass off, which is funny as hell. I'm not gonna lie. And then we cut over. Okay, we cut over to freaking Caribou of all people. Like I've been kind of curious. Like, what is the importance of this character? Like he's been there just behind the scenes ever since Fisherman Island. The ending of that arc, he's just been chilling. It's been like, yo, I'm waiting for my opportunity. And I'm like, bro, what opportunity are you waiting for? And we find out here. The opportunity he's been seeking, most importantly, is Blackbeard. He wants to join Blackbeard because of the information he holds for Pluton, for Poseidon. And at first, you know, Devon and what's the other one's name? Augur. I think that's how you say it, right? Augur? Ogre? I think it's Augur. Augur to me makes no sense. But you have Augur, and then you have Devon. And they're both kind of unsure. And I'm kind of like merging all the chapters together into this discussion to make it more easier to digest. But essentially, they're both kind of unsure as to like how to take the information, and we're still kind of like left up in the air about that. That's something that we still haven't really explored yet. But as that goes down, like I said, the Marines they make a decision. Yeah, let's just kill Bonnie. Let's kill Bonnie, and the reason they kill Bonnie, quite simply put, is this. If I can find the exact panel here. So, the reason is because, well, A, they need to get the pacifists back under control. That's one. Number two, Vegapunk, right? Key link is that. Kill Jewelry Bonnie because of that tie to Vegapunk. Mainly just that. And as that's going down, we get like new vice admirals that pop up too. Vice admirals like freaking Tosa. Okay, you got them, and then Frankie, notices that the Giants show up. He notices Brogy. He notices Dorry, and he's like, "Yeah, I've seen y'all. Y'all were on those wanted posters, but I sure can't remember some of y'all. Y'all must be new." He's like, "Yeah, we've come for the Straw Hat Pirates." But they reassure to Frankie, "Look, we're not here to cause trouble. We're here to help Luffy." And with Bonnie's plea, she's like, "Please, just do this. I really, 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 please. I'm begging you to the heavens, please, to the freaking heavens, save Luffy." And of course, given their past, their connection, I can go all the way back to Little Garden. They're not gonna say no. Obviously, there's no way they would ever turn down Luffy, especially with the form he's in now. Freaking Nika, the Sun God, Gear 5, my son. Like, yo, they're obviously gonna go over there. That's what they do. They just rush on over. And what we get here is a dying plea promise from Vegapunk. Because this is something that I do see happening, especially with the chapters that are building up, okay? And this kind of goes through in chapter 1109 also. Basically, Vegapunk makes a plea to Sanji, like, just get Bonnie out of here. Try to keep her safe. Because now the whole world is after Bonnie, okay? There's going to be no chance of hell she's going to survive on her own out there. I need y'all, like, as, you know, a pseudo father figure. Let's say godfather. As like a godfather figure, save her. Please. Keep her safe. Essentially. Now, is that implying Bonnie's gonna join the crew? I don't know. I mean, the chances of that are likely, yes. For sure. Definitely. But if I have to play a percentage game, like at this point in time, I'm gonna say 45-55. 45% chance Bonnie does join the crew, 55% chance she does. That's my best bet. Around there. That's honestly what I'm feeling. It's that. Now, could I be proven wrong? Obviously. Yes. I 100% could be proven wrong about this. And we'll just have to see. We honestly will just have to see. But what happens at the end of chapter 1108? And it's pretty simple. Kizaru intervenes, but as that goes down, the message begins to play. The message that Vegapunk pre-recorded. And that's what leads into chapter 1109. He starts playing the message that he had recorded from eons ago. And the Marines are like kind of tripped out about this. They're like, bro, where is that coming from? Like, where is this like message being played at? Like, I'm so freaking confused. And as this message is being broadcasted all throughout the globe, what I love about this in particular, is you get reactions from everybody. And I'm not just talking about everybody on the island. I mean world freaking wide. You've got, Rebecca's reaction. Learning about what happened with, the article regarding Luffy. Like, she knows about that. And of course, the picture regarding Vegapunk. You go back to, Windmill Village, Luffy's hometown. What's the old man? She's like, who's going to pay for that? And then, you go over to Water freaking 7, the Grand Line. You have Iceberg there. his secretary Alice, who I think just made her first official appearance, and he's like, "Hey, wait, hold on, set up the video at once," because he knows. Okay, there's something massive about to happen. Like he gets a suspicion something's about to happen. And then the World Economic Journal HQ. And of course, they're still kind of flying over. Hey, well, what's the signal about? It's an independent source being relayed by the Navy. And once again, who is aboard, the Economic Journal HQ? It's Vivi. Okay? And the first question she asks is, does it say where Luffy's crew is going? And Morgan, big news, or as a lot of people like to call him, fake news Morgan. He's like, hey, look behind them. That's not the current time on Egghead. This is the recording that was made in the past. There's currently a buster call happening over there, so the place is burning to the ground as we speak, I'm sure. And really, that's all we kind of get from Vivi in that little instance. I'm still betting 100% that we're gonna get that inevitable reunion between Vivi and the Straw Hat Crew. That's gonna happen. Now, I did throw out a prediction a long time ago. Maybe we could get that reunion at the end of Egghead. I don't know about that, but from what I remember, they are still currently flying over. So there's a chance, a small, by small chance, I say like 20% chance. 20, 25, maybe 30 at most. 30% chance Vivi does actually reunite with them when this arc comes to a close. But in my opinion, what I think's gonna happen is that reunion with Luffy and the crew. I don't know if it's gonna happen at the very end of Egghead. Now, I really don't. If I had to take a guess, I'm gonna say the start of Egghead. Start of Egghead. The start of Elbaf, I think, is where we could get it. If not the start, definitely, you know, the midpoint or near the climax. That's what I'm thinking. But this is definitely now setting up for that reunion whenever it does happen. But I feel like it's going to happen much sooner than later. That's for sure. What else reactions do we get? We go to the North Blue. We go to the South Blue. Ivan's there too. You get Koala's reaction. Sabo's there. Oh yeah, and this is another big thing. So Dragon also senses too because he remembers what Kafka said. Looking at it, because he does recall what was being mentioned, or not Kafka, Shaka. He remembers Shaka's words, and he predicts that with this message being played now, Vegapunk's gonna die. And again, that's something I mentioned very early on in the stream. It's all leading up to his death. Like the plea he made to Sanji. That is a. Those are like a final words kind of promise that was being made there. Vegapunk ain't making out of this. I'm still saying it. As much as Luffy tries to tell him, yo, save him, he's not making it out. And as sad as that is, that's what's going to happen. But you see what's going down. Luffy's still kind of unfazed by the punches that Kizaru throws at him. Both Kizaru and with Saturn, by the way. And who jumps in to help when all this stuff's going down? Yo, I mean, I think I already mentioned that Dorry and Brogy already show up to aid them. But just when shit looks like it's about to go for the best for Luffy and the crew, same Jaygarcia Saturn's like, you know what? Fine. You want to play that game? I'll play that freaking game too. You want to play what's called 4D chess? Let me take it a step further. I'm gonna show you who is the real master of 4D chess and what you get exactly. Oh my god. Because even the Marines are reacting. They're like, well, yo, what the hell just happened? And Luffy's freaking the freak out, dude. He's like, hey, what is that? Everyone's shocked. And he's like, hey, wait. It's the same thing when Spider-Gram showed up. And that's what Sanji says. And you notice that there's four. There's four Black Lightning flashes that show up. And given the beginning of chapter 1110, you all know what that insinuates. That insinuates the five great elders. They show up. And they're Zoan Devil forms. Oh my god. Like, here's the thing. These were kind of silhouetted out with the Cobra flashback that we got very early on in this arc. Now we kind of see it. It's like, oh shit. And I was there. Sure, I may not have actually discussed the chapter when it came up, but I did see a lot of discussion of like, yo, these are like freaking tail beast transformation. I'm like, I don't know if I'd call them that, but I guess in some way I could see it. In a way, I guess I could kind of see it to some degree, but I don't know. People are just making too many similarity traits here. If we're being perfectly real, but not gonna lie, these transformations, they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool. Yeah, the highest authority of the world government. And look, I'm gonna be real. If I did actually tackle this chapter when it actually came out, the panel with the five great elders, or in this case, the five elders, this would have probably been the thumbnail for the chapter, without a doubt. This would have been the absolute thumbnail because holy shit, you have the five elders and freaking Luffy in the center of it all. And I mean, look, these Zoan transformations, like they're crazy. And what, like, one of them takes out the pacifista. Let me see exactly who we have here. So we got Mercury, we got Mars. So let's see. Gyuki is Saturn. That's obvious. Itsumade is Mars. And then you got. I'm sorry, not Mercury. Warcury. You got Warcury over here, who's got the Fengshi zone transformation. And then you got Nosjuro. And he has the Bakotsu zone transformation. And then freaking Jupiter over here with the Sandworm. I mean, these are pretty lit designs. Don't get me wrong; they're pretty lit. Also, freaking terrifying too when you look at it. But you see what goes down over here. Let me see. Yeah, so Nosjuro's the one who takes out one of the pacifistas. Actually, I think all of them do, right? Yes, you see what goes down. One of them's like on the lookout for Bonnie, and it's nuts. Like Jupiter kind of like digs underground, and Luffy makes note of that. He's like, "Yo, guys, like it went underground. Like what are we gonna do?" And you have Usopp contacting Sanji, like, "Hey, we'd love to get out of here, but Zoro and Jinbei aren't back yet." And then of course there's still Brook and Lilith, who they just made it through. The ship's okay. They arrive safely only because of you, Usopp. Fool. Who's talking there? Okay, so we arrived safely was Brook, And then Lilith's the one that's making the comment about it's all because of you fool, Usopp. Uh, and Jinbei, understands the situation. Whether the fight's finished or not, he's going to take Zoro back, essentially. And the big thing about this fight between Zoro and Lucci is it pretty much concludes. The fight in and of itself comes to a conclusion, and as Jupiter is about to pull some shit off against Luffy, but let's just say devour him. That's when Brogy and Dorry come in to save Luffy, and this was again, like I mentioned throughout the stream, super nostalgic. It's so freaking nostalgic. Just seeing these characters, like, just reunite again. And ending it off with this, beautiful. Just honestly, truly beautiful. Then you get chapter 1111. Freaking 4-digit ones over here. Beautiful color spread too. Luffy eating some fries, Nami eating fries too, Bonnie sharing the fries from Nami. And what else we got here? Brooke too. Yeah, everyone's just having fries for the most part. Yeah, almost everybody. Even Vegapunk in the corner is having fries too. That's a reader request. It says the Straw Hat strolling through the deep sea using jellyfish umbrellas. Yeah, no one's making note of the fries. Again, color spread's beautiful. It's a beautiful color spread. But the chapter title is called Sun Shield. And what we get here with 1111. Mars basically breaks through the frontier dome. He makes little to no effort. He's like, yo, okay, you think that barrier's gonna hold through? Let me show you the card I'm about to play. And he pulls the big card. It's like, oh, yo, what are we gonna do? And again, just when Zoro feels like he's done, okay, when Zoro gets the opportunity, yo, maybe I can leave. No, 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 no. He doesn't get the opportunity yet because Lucci, this man does not want to go down. This man, Rob freaking Lucci, is saying, "Oh hell to the no! Well, I am not going down that easily. I will stop you." And Sanji's like, "Yo, did you get him, Jinbei?" And Jinbei's like, "I'll do it now." And he's like, "Yo, you won the fight." But Jinbei's like, "You know what? No, I'm sorry about this, Rob Lucci, but I'm getting him out of here." And that's exactly what happens for the most part. So, yeah, Jinbei just snags Zoro away. He's like, "You know what? No. I know you have your pride and honor as a swordsman, but we gotta bail the fuck out of here. That's numero uno one. We get out of here ASAP. We're not dealing with this." So he does what he can. He gets Zoro out, and even Lucci's kind of just like, "Yo, what is going on?" And let me get these transformations actually in place. So all this stuff is going down, and the one that confronts Lucci, going back to chapter 11, freaking 11. All the damn chapters. Kaku. Okay, so yeah, so it's Mars. So he tells Mars that Kaku's still in the control room and recovering, and even in doing so, he tells him that it's not possible to because he can't single out a single insect while annihilating a ton of them. It's going to be hard with what he's able to do. And then while this is all going down, we get Luffy just thinking back about what happened. just reunite. It's like, I can't believe it's been 2. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. When you think about how long it's been like IRL for us, that's dude. Little Garden was like ages ago. Okay, I'm not even sugarcoating that. That was like 2 decades, at least 2 decades for us, and for Luffy, it's like it's just been 2 years. Crazy, right? Actually, let me do the math on this. What chapter did Little Garden start at? And look, I've got the One Piece manga box in the other room, but I'm not. I am not about to go over there and just dig through that. Not while I'm streaming. Let me see here. Yeah, Little Garden starts at like chapter 114. The hell? Like, that should say something. Okay? 114 to now. Like, think about that. 1,000+ chapters later. Or close to, at the approximately close to 1,000+ chapters later, we get this reunion. That is incredible. Oh my god. But no, like this reunion, like I said, is super touching. It's super, super touching. And Brogy's the one that relays the note to Luffy of what Sanji told him. It's like, yeah, I remember hearing the note. Like, look, he said, if you see Luffy, tell him to run around the back of the island so we can meet up later. And the 5 elders, all of them are just like, oh, hell freaking no. The giants are here? Yo, no, fuck this. We are not doing this at all. No freaking way are we dealing with this. This is freaking bullshit. The comment, like, he basically says that's a bad play. No, that is not a part of the script. We are not going through this. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. But both Brogy and Dorry are like, yo, look at these colossal beasts. They look like they came from Elbaf. They look like they came from Elbaf's forest. Elbaf's forest. That hearing stuff like that gets me even more intrigued about Elbaf. Not even lying. Gets me even more curious about what Elbaf is. So, already aware. You see what's about to go down. As this is all happening, and I love this. Luffy makes a run for it. Okay, all this is happening. Luffy makes a run for it. Brody's like, bro, what the hell? It's like the island is pulsating again. Hey, and they're like, hey, are you all right, Straw Hat? Got enough parts there? What a funny body you've got. And Luffy's like, whew, that was a close one. Color of the Supreme King Roar. Who is that guy? Hmm. Some bossy guy in the world government. Whoa, Brogy, is what Dory said. And Brogy's like, ready. Sutherland Sunshield, which is actually the title of the chapter. We have much to settle with your kind. Do you even know who that is? And they're both like, he's a friend. They're both like laughing away. And they just deal with them like that. It's actually pretty cool. So they deal with, again, Saturn, Wakuri, and Jupiter. And it is a victory for them to a degree. Like, sure, are they running away? Yes, they are running away. But as they always say, live to fight another day, right? This is a victory at the moment, but there will be another opportunity for them to have settled their scores. So obviously, this is already something. But you see Saturn, and Saturn, like, he must be crushed before you call him something else. eradicated from historical records. And Luffy's like, watch out, that's gonna be a poison. And honestly, this is actually pretty funny because you got Luffy here with the baseball bat, like looking like he's about to pull a home run. He's like, "How do you like to taste your own poison?" And the reaction on Luffy's face is just freaking hysterical. He's like, "What? They exploded? The hell, captains? The flames are going to block off the force. Let's get moving." You blew him to bits. Let's hurry. This won't matter. They're immortal, huh? And they're both like, keep running. How can they be immortal? I don't know, but they keep coming back no matter what we do. I've never heard of such a power of a race. Best to run then. When they're doing that, got Nami here. Like Jinbei, Zolo, hurry up. And they're both on their way, because they both relay that message. I think it's faster just to run. Look in front of the ship. You're not getting on that boat, Jewelry Bonnie. And who is the one? That gets to the okay, so the one that gets to the broadcast room. Oh, I forgot to mention Frankie and Bon. Actually, no, that's next chapter. But essentially, as this goes down, again, York's there, and the giant starts to wake up. Okay, so the one who gets there is freaking Mars. A number one, he gets to the broadcast room, and then we have Kizaru just relaying the information of like, "Yo, I'm injured. Just let me rest. Urgent report." Stuff like this. And then the giant starts to wake up and he's like, "Yo, I'm sorry, Joy Boy." So he has some kind of connection there, which it's fascinating. Not gonna lie. It is actually real fascinating to just to actually even get something like that. Yeah. No, for real. It kind of gets me curious in more ways than one about what sort of connection the giant has. Like maybe he's an old relic to Joy Boy. That's the only thing I can think of. But we'll see. Now we get to chapter 11, 12, the latest chapter. And again, I'm not gonna go through and like go further in depth with this because, well, unfortunately, here's the thing. I am kind of running short on time here now, but I could tackle this within at least an hour and a half. But man, there's only so much one could do. But basically, what happens in chapter 11, 12, and I'll give you guys a basic rundown. So Nosturo, he neutralizes all the pacifistas, and all the Marines, they try, or I should say, they at least make an attempt to, get rid of the big ship that's owned by the giant pirates. Obviously, you see this actually too. But as this is going down, you got Frankie for one. Frankie's there, and you got Bonnie, and they both defeat Red King and Palm Sky, which number one, good moment for them. Like that's a pretty good team up moment for them. I'm not gonna lie, that's really cool. He's like, "Yo, take my daddy to safety, Mr. Giant. Prepare to die." Let's see what else we got. Doberman's there. And like Bonnie's like, "Don't call him a weapon. My daddy is a hero." Pretty great. And the message still playing. I can't help but notice you're not drinking your Vega coffee. It's hot. I have a very sensitive tongue. That means That's mean, Shaka. You already knew that. 4 minutes, Stella. 4 more minutes, Stella. Which, you see what happens. This is clearly the same room. They must have recorded the message here, but you see what happens. Wait, stop. Don't just go crazy. And basically, what happens? Let me be frank here. Mars destroys the broadcast room. But even so, the message is still playing. And it's like, yo, like York's there. Okay, well, number one, York's still there. That's the first thing. But as that's going down, like you're seeing everything. And Stussy makes a decision here. She makes the decision of like, I'll stay back. Like, if there's one thing I have to do, I have to do this. It's my idea. Carry out the final order, essentially. And Nami's kind of left concerned about this. And Edison's like, the only way to lower the Frontier Dome is at the command room. She volunteered to do it. Stussy's the one that volunteers. If you want to do right by her sacrifice, you better make sure the escape's a success, eh? And Nami, what she says here is, well, of course we're going to do everything we can to escape, but still. And Robin also points out the problem is the distance that the Vega Force 1 would have flown us. Exactly right, Nico Robin. I've calculated it up, and going by the classical mechanics, the ship's guaranteed to land on solid ground now. What? And then, of course, you got Usopp. Like, hey, the Kude burst is all ready to rock. Once Zoro's group gets here, we're gonna make a super jump out to sea. And if it looks like we're not gonna make it, that's your cue to help us out. Got it? And Edison's just kind of like laughing, like, must be hard to be your ship. But look the guts you got. Wherever miracles occur, that's the power behind them, and that's coming from a scientist. Huh? Edison, I'll make sure your ship touches down in the water. Trust in me. Edison, and it won't kill me. Here goes. And as this is going down, you see you see how there's an upward wind pulling us toward the island. And this dude is still here, the freaking earthworm. The suction is enormous. You see, Dorry and Brogy, we're not going anywhere. Luffy's still trying to like his best, like escape. And you notice as this is going down, like Luffy's Gear 5 form is like starting to like, you know, dissipate. It's starting to like what's the word I want to use here? Wither away. And you see that with his like hair going back to normal. There's a very funny panel here where he kind of looks a little bit like an old man. And like the Giants pointing out, like, yo, what happened? He's like out of food power? And in the middle of all this, Luffy just finds some food, eats up, gets the strength he needs to get back into feeling re-energized, and they pull off Luffy at the very least pulls off the gum red rock. Still amazing, by the way, that we get that. How hard is that thing? And then you cut to the rear side of the Labosphere. Here's the thing: the ship is just there. They're in the vicinity. Nami, Edison, and Usopp. And then all you had to do was show the damn claws, like at the very edge. And then as soon as I saw this, I'm thinking, bro, what the hell? This man, I'm sorry. Like, if you want to talk about a getaway plan, this is your best opportunity. Like, you had an amplitude amount of opportunities. And to be fair, no one really anticipated Saturn showing up or any of the five elders. But let's be fair. Nobody did. But like you see the other elders too, and then you see what they're doing. And as this is going down, there's only 1 more minute left before the broadcast starts commuting. And he's like, "Hey, here it is. Fortune was not on your side, Vegapunk." I'm like, "This is the end of the chapter." So I know this probably wasn't the best stream discussion. I'll say that this probably wasn't the best way for me to like tackle all 6 chapters because yeah, I did kind of like speed through a lot of things, and at the same time, when I was thinking about this, the big thing that came to my mind was let me discuss about the important details that went on in these chapters. Give my brief thoughts on like all the stuff that's going down, and not gonna lie, these 6 chapters, including the recent one that just came out, 11, 12, they have been such a treat. They've been such a huge treat when it comes to One Piece. And I mean, look, the climax of Egghead has been nuts. I will say that because the one thing I will say when it comes to the Straw Hats, I will say prior to them trying to escape off the island, I didn't really feel like the Straw Hats were like had like a super big like moment per se when it came to this arc. But now I feel like with where things are currently at, we're getting that now. I feel like now, like the climax of Egghead is like really kind of what's helping the Straw Hats out. In my personal, is it by a lot? I don't know if it's by a lot, but it's definitely increased by a margin for sure. And overall, like if I have to estimate a time frame, how long exactly we have until Egghead actually wraps up? I mean, let me think because this is chapter 11, 12. And if I have to actually look through the volumes, which what is the latest One Piece volume that just dropped? I'm curious. I am actually super curious what the latest one that just came out because I know for like us in the states, the latest one was actually 105. Chapter 105 is the one that just came out. So if I'm looking at this, I don't even think we're at chapter 110 yet. Oh hell no! Yeah, we are. There's no way we're at chapter 112, 110. That's a chapter. There's no way we're on volume 110 yet. Let's see, 104, 17, 106, 17. Okay, 108. 108 is the last volume that we got. So if I'm looking at this, something 12 chapters. 12 chapters. So this could be the ending point of the volume. Yeah, no, this very well could be the end of volume 109. There's a good chance this volume could be. Well, actually, no. Could it? Let me think. Let me see. So 107 ends at chapter 1088, and then 108 ends at chapter 1100. So that's 12 chapters for that volume. Let's estimate one like 1111 and 1112 within that time frame. So it's either the last chapter or this chapter that ends off volume 1109. But look, I still gotta say it. These events have been nuts. They've been real nuts with what's been going down. And I've been saying it for a while. Egghead has been such a treat. It's been such a huge treat when it comes to One Piece. What this arc has done for the not only just the time skip, but for the story as a whole, I mean, it's crazy. It's nuts. It's exciting. And how Oda's gonna conclude this arc, all I know is he's gonna leave us on a note that's just gonna have us going like, I can't wait to see what happens next. That's exactly how things are gonna go when it comes to concluding the Egghead arc. And again, if I had to make a prediction call, what chapter are we gonna end this off on? Let's say chapter 120. 120, no, I said 120. 1120, 1125. 13 chapters. My ballpark guess. Maybe. Because Otis kind of surprised me in a lot of ways than one when it comes to this arc. And honestly, I can't wait. I really cannot wait to see what more he has planned. But aside from that, you guys, that's pretty much all I have to say when it comes to this live stream discussion catch up for One Piece from chapters 1107 to 1112. If I have to give an overall rating on all these chapters combined, I mean, look, can I just say masterclass pure perfection? Because that is what these chapters are. They are a huge stretch of pure perfection chapters. And I'm going to say this right now. When you have me given chapters back to back to back, 6 chapters in a row, pure perfection, you know you're doing a great job. You know you are doing a fantastic job with your series. And I hope that continues. I really do hope that continues, moving forward with the other chapters. With chapter 113, 114, etc., etc., etc. Y'all get the drift. But aside from that, you guys, that's pretty much it. I'm Lucky7. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more One Piece content. And I will catch you guys when chapter 113 drops. Officially. So I'll catch you guys again on Sunday. Peace and have an awesome day.